Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Following a citywide boil water notice, an investigation continues as residents want answers. House prices are on the rise in Victoria, what we know about the latest quarter. Plus, another close call in the skies between a military aircraft and a commercial plane.
And I hope y'all are ready for some real Texas July heat, because high pressure both above in the sky and on the ground going to get real close to us, bringing some of us near 100, and we may have more tropical activity to talk about. All on the weather coming up.
Good morning, Crossroads. We have an opponent that will battle the Victoria Northeast Little League in the Southwest Regional Tournament. See who their opponent is coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday morning. I know I should just say like another Monday morning. Some people don't like Mondays, but I enjoy them. I like to get a lot of things done, and
I agree.
It's a good time for me.
It's a good way to start out the week on a good note, because starting out our week, well, just like it was last week, it's warm and humid this morning. And
yes, and it's going to be especially dangerously hot, so be sure to check the back seat of your vehicles when you're unloading things. Check for children, the pets, all the valuables.
Absolutely. Those temperatures are going to be outright outrageous in the cars later this week, because well, we're going to look at that later, because first things first, like we were just saying, it's already warm and humid this morning. 79 is our air temperature. Current air temperature in Victoria, dew point's 2 degrees off at 77, bringing us a high humidity of 94% this morning. And technically that is just barely enough to see a little bit of light patchy fog. Can't see any of it on the camera this morning because we have a light wind right now between 5 to 10 miles an hour, and we also have high pressure right nearby, sinking air underneath that, and the winds providing us a little bit of mixing in the air. So no fog this morning, but temperatures though, well, it's, like I said, warm for everybody. Everybody's up for 70s, low, even some mid 80s on the coast this morning, 84 Palacios. And with that warm, we actually have heat indices already, and the sun's not even out fully just yet. Feels like low 90s down on the coast this morning, but that's not hot enough for y'all. You know, just wait, because later this week it's going to get hotter. On satellite, you can see right in Central Texas we have the remnants of Invest 93L, which was over there last week. But good news for Central Texas, it's not going to be a rainout event because we have high pressure building, and look how massive it is on satellite, spinning clockwise. And also on satellite, right here is a tropical wave going to bring us our possible tropical activity. We'll look at that later, because if you're headed out the door for your Monday, going to be a little bit hot and steamy. Heat indices up to 112 today. We'll look at those details coming up next.
The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality's investigation into water issues in Victoria is ongoing. The city of Victoria officially lifted the boil water notice Tuesday night following the TCEQ's confirmation that the water system was fully compliant. As part of ongoing safety efforts, the chlorine conversion will continue through August 12th before returning to the regular treatment method. Aquarium and dialysis users should continue adjusted pre-treatment. Victoria average home prices are rising. The Texas Quarterly Housing Report shows Victoria home prices are up 4.6% to an average of $250,000. The report also shows active house listings in Victoria are up over 39% over the previous quarter, but closed sales are down just over 7%. The Texas Realtor Survey shows more Texans put their homes on the market in the second quarter of this year, but the number of sales and median prices were similar to those at the same time last year. Alaska Airlines grounded planes due to a computer outage overnight. The disruption began around 8 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday night and lasted several hours. The grounding followed a system-wide IT outage, but was later resolved following a lift on the order. The airline has not specified the nature of the outage, marking the second time it has grounded its fleet in just over a year. The company expects residual impacts to its operations. Another close call in the skies. This time it was once again between a passenger jet and a military aircraft. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack with the details.
Another close call in the sky. The pilot of a SkyWest jet operating as a Delta Connection flight says he was forced to make an abrupt maneuver while landing in Minot, North Dakota to avoid colliding with an Air Force B-52 bomber.
It was just really aggressive how he jolted.
Passenger Monica Green was sitting in the fifth row.
I could feel that we're getting closer to the ground and we're starting the descent. All of a sudden, we just kind of jerk really hard to the right, and it goes from like this to just like almost sideways completely. And we're like looking out the window and facing the grass.
Once safely on the ground, the pilot apologized over the intercom.
It was a military, I don't know how fast they were going, but they were a lot faster than us. I felt it was the safest thing to do to turn behind it. So sorry about the aggressive maneuver. It caught me by surprise. This is not normal at all. It was not fun, but I do apologize for it, and I thank you for understanding. It was kind of not a fun day at work.
The plane had departed from Minneapolis, flying to Minot, which is home to an Air Force base with B-52 bombers. It's unclear how close the two aircraft came, or if a cockpit alarm was activated. The scare, reminiscent of the mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and a Black Hawk helicopter outside Washington, D.C. back in January, which left 67 people dead and raised questions about military flights sharing airspace with passenger aircraft. As for this case, Green praised the pilot for his quick thinking.
Huge thing for that pilot to make that decision and get everyone safe. So kudos to Delta for that guy. He saved the day on that.
SkyWest and the Air Force are investigating. An Air Force spokesperson did confirm that a B-52 assigned to Minot Air Force Base conducted a flyover at the North Dakota State Fair on that same day. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
A federal judge is hearing oral arguments for two Harvard University and Trump administration lawsuits. They challenge the government's freezing of billions of dollars in funding for Harvard. Trump argues the school's DEI policies are discriminatory and claims Palestinian protests were harmful to Jewish students. Harvard's lawsuit claims freezing the funds, quote, has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. The school argues Trump really wants, quote, control over its academic enterprise. The second lawsuit is from a faculty group and makes similar arguments. The Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act Work Experience Program is looking for 16 to 24-year-olds who want paid work experience skills. They offer 120 days of paid employment and experience in various industries. Terry Prickett of the program will be at the Dr. Patty Dodson Public Health Center to answer questions and provide resources. They're going to meet from 8 a.m. to noon today. Again, that's at 2005 North Navarro. And remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It's just about 6:38 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. In the wake of recent flooding in the Hill Country, many are stepping up to help those affected.
A bipartisan push on Capitol Hill for the full Jeffrey Epstein files to be made public. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details on how President Trump is responding this morning.
And also coming up next after the break, in the short-term forecast, like you heard me say earlier, going to be a little bit hot all across Texas before the real heat comes. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how hot I think it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. It's a brand new week, but I think it's safe to say we're going to get a little bit hot later this week. And I know it's already been a little bit hot over the last several days because looking at yesterday's almanac, we got up to a high of 93 degrees. That was yesterday afternoon. A little bit cooler than what I was thinking. 95 because, but we were a little bit cooler because of the breezy wind in the background. We'll look at that here in a second. Average was 95 yesterday and record was 105, set back in 1913. But coming our way today, going to be about the same thing. Look for a high of about 95 in Victoria. We'll look at that here in a second. Because today in the background, looking at your future tracker, well, we're going to be real sunny all day long. And before I press play a little bit further, all these mostly cloudy skies, that's what it looks like. This is actually upper level cirrus clouds. They're really thin, milky, kind of wispy kind. That's going to be up in especially our northwestern counties for a good majority of the day. You can see us near the coast a little bit closer, probably going to be a little bit more sunny. And with that beaming Texas sun today, underneath the cirrus clouds, it's still going to be mostly sunny. That'll heat us up to about 95, like I said earlier. Right here in Victoria, 95, the same in Cuero, and about 94 in Port Lavaca today. like I said, right where we should be, but 101 is our record today. And the background, well, it's going to feel about that hot. Some of us might even feel as hot as 110 to 112. That's going to be for the folks on the coast. Inland counties are going to be reaching for about 105 to 108 for heated to seas. And the winds in the background, like yesterday, and the afternoon especially, winds will gust up to about 25 miles an hour, but it's going to be a bit of a steaming hot breeze. And for the rest of this week, we'll only heat up even further. Some of us might be near 100 degrees, and we have tropical activity to talk about. That's coming up next.
Good news continues to come out of Seguin for our Victoria Northeast All-Stars. Representing District 27 as Texas East, the team has been dominating in the Southwest Regional Tournament, and calling their performance dominant is no exaggeration. This weekend was packed with explosive offense from the Victoria Northeast All-Stars. They squared off against New Braunfels and once again dominated the field. It's clear that they're only getting stronger with a powerful 13-3 victory. The Northeast All-Stars racked up runs in every single inning, lighting up the scoreboard, showing off their unstoppable offensive firepower. Can the Victoria Northeast All-Stars keep elevating their game? They'll be back in Seguin later on today at 5 p.m. for the championship game. And it's just been made clear to me that they will be battling Laredo for the Southwest Regional Championship game. Let's wish them the best of luck as they're just one win away from the World Series. Make sure you tune into our evening show for scores updates. But that does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
We want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Now to the latest on the Jeffrey Epstein files. This morning, some House Republicans are joining Democrats in a push to release all of the grand jury testimony. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
This morning, the firestorm over the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation is not going away. Now, a greater push for transparency as some congressional Republicans break ranks to join Democrats to push for a vote to release the files on the convicted sex offender. The resolution would carry no legal weight, but shows the outrage some lawmakers feel from their own base.
This town does not give up its secrets easy.
President Trump ordered the Justice Department to request the release of grand jury transcripts related to Epstein. But that could take time, requiring a federal judge's approval. And legal experts say the transcripts may not reveal any new details and likely only cover a fraction of the evidence gathered. Democrats are slamming the president for trying to shift the blame.
So the president blaming Democrats for this disaster, Jake, is like that CEO that got caught on camera blaming Coldplay.
Trump gave the order to his Justice Department to release the grand jury transcripts just hours after the Wall Street Journal reported on a letter Trump allegedly sent Epstein for his birthday in 2003. ABC News has not confirmed the existence of the letter. Trump is now filing a $10 billion defamation lawsuit against the paper, including its conservative owner, Rupert Murdoch. In the lawsuit, Trump alleges the Journal, quote, falsely claimed that he authorized, drew, and signed a letter to Epstein containing salacious language with a hand-drawn naked woman, which was created with a heavy marker, and that no authentic letter or drawing exists. Dow Jones, the parent company of the Wall Street Journal, says they are standing by their reporting. Epstein's former lawyer says Epstein's co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell, should testify before Congress, saying, quote, she knows everything. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you think the Epstein files will ever be released? All right, let's take a look. 23% of you say yes and 77% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. And many people have felt the call to help those impacted by the flooding in the Hill Country, including a Victoria man preparing caskets for victims of the flood disaster. Timothy Lopez is in the process of preparing and personalizing caskets for families that have lost loved ones in the disaster. The caskets and all the material used to prepare them are donated. And it's not the first time Lopez has donated. He's also given several caskets to families of the Uvalde school shooting back in 2022.
I do the caskets for a number of reasons, just to bring a little bit of happiness to a tragic moment in anybody's life. Not necessarily a tragic moment like happened in Kerrville and Hunt, but just losing a loved one is pretty difficult.
Lopez says the opportunity to help those in a time of need is all the thanks he needs. Victoria County Commissioners meet at 10 this morning at the Victoria County Courthouse. On the agenda, they'll discuss several grant agreements with the Best Friends Animal Society, and they'll also assign the tax assessor collector to calculate no new revenue rates and voter approval rates. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here at 6:46 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, the investigation continues into a fiery crash at a San Jose post office. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Michelle. Happy birthday. We love you from Dad, Joanne, and the family.
Oh, happy birthday to Michelle. And also happy birthday to Danny. Happy 65th birthday, Dad/Grandpa. We love you.
And happy birthday to Josh Hartnett. The Pearl Harbor and Black Hawk Downstar is 47.
That's right. Happy birthday, Josh. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. We'll be right back.
Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of you all saw that 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you're probably wondering why don't we have alert days issued yet, because the heat indices are going to be approaching 110. Some of us might be just above 110 for Wednesday and Thursday. Well, it's because of this. We don't have any heat advisories in effect, and usually we get heat advisories issued in our area when the heat index is 110 or greater for more than 2 hours. That's the criteria the National Weather Service looks for, and pretty much the same for us as well. But it may not be enough for a heat advisory here, but look at the rest of the southern United States. All these heat advisories have been issued for all this week because of our high pressure system that we've been talking about all last week. It is going to be slowly sliding our direction from the eastern coast, both upper level and surface high pressure. And that's going to put temperatures in the Crossroads back in the upper 90s later this week. And like you heard me say earlier, some of us might be flirting with 100 degrees, especially by Thursday. So y'all please stay cool and hydrated. But you also heard me say earlier, what is this? Do we have more tropical nonsense to worry about? Yes, we do, I think. Chances are still very low, something forming right here in this green shaded region between Wednesday and Friday of this week. And what we're tracking right now, it's this. Well, we got high pressure system that's bringing us the heat, but this is also a steering mechanism because winds around this are clockwise. That's going to send the remnants, a little moisture blob of Invest 93L, which we tracked last week. It's going to clash with a tropical wave, and that's going to send it right towards us. Later this week. That's why we're going to be tracking it real closely. And in the deep Atlantic, we have 2 more tropical waves that we'll be tracking for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
Now to Northern California and a fiery incident being linked to the family of a football-playing war hero. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the story.
This morning, police investigating whether a man intentionally drove into this post office in San Jose, California, igniting a massive fire.
Postal inspectors are investigating as an intentional act. It will, of course, be determined in a court of law whether or not it was, but it does not look like an accident so far.
Police arresting Richard Tillman in connection with the crash. He's the younger brother of Patrick Tillman, who famously gave up his NFL career in wake of 9/11 to serve in the Army. Pat was killed in Afghanistan in 2004 in what was later revealed to be a friendly fire incident.
I woke up around 2:50 to explosion sounds, and I looked out my window and the post office was in flames.
Heather Roberts says she watched the post office go up in flames early yesterday after that vehicle caught fire. Dozens of firefighters racing to get the blaze under control.
When we went outside, there was a man standing in the parking lot with a bunch of belongings.
A photo of Pat Tillman could be seen inside a box left on the sidewalk at the crash site. Authorities say the suspect also likely tagged this graffiti on the side of the post office. The message, unclear.
We do believe the same person whose car that was caused the fire and put the graffiti up. The meaning of it is not known, certainly to us.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A tragedy in upstate New York as a young girl is found dead after an Amber Alert was issued. A 9-year-old girl, Melina Fradalin, was found dead in upstate New York after an Amber Alert was issued Sunday night. Her father reported her missing around 10 p.m. Saturday, suspecting abduction. The Amber Alert was issued nearly 4 hours later, but police say there's no indication of an abduction. A person of interest has been taken into custody in connection to a shooting of an off-duty Customs and Border Patrol officer. Security camera video released by the Department of Homeland Security shows 2 suspects ambushing and shooting the officer late Saturday night. The off-duty officer returned fire as the moped driver and suspected shooter fled the scene. The officer is said to be in a stable condition. The unemployment rate in Victoria ticked up slightly in June. The Texas Workforce Commission says the rate rose 4.1%, up from 4% in May, but still below last June's 4.5%. More than 43,000 people are currently employed in the area, nearly 300 more than this time last year. We never know when a storm will strike, so Public Health Emergency Preparedness Coordinator Ralph Montez is preparing a free class to help families plan, prepare, and protect themselves before a storm hits. They'll hold the class at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center. That's at 2805 North Navarro Street on Thursday. It starts at 10 in the morning. To learn more, call Montez at 361-580-5770. Texas lawmakers start a 30-day special session today. They're going to tackle consumable THC, flood dangers, new congressional districts, abortion pills, and other conservative priorities. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at that sunrise over Port Lavaca with Parker. It's still pink.
It is just a little bit on the horizon, as you can see on our Port Lavaca live camera. I got all sorts of pretty colors this morning. Let's see, I can see some blue, I can see a little bit of pink, I can see some yellow, maybe some orange, red as well. And if y'all headed out the door to maybe go see that sunrise, a little bit warm, maybe also apply some hairspray because it is real humid as well. Dew point 77 right now. I would not be surprised if that rises up to 80, 81 degrees later this morning. 92% humidity is humidity right now, but not enough to worry about fog this morning, but it is enough for me to say please stay hydrated today. Fishers and boaters, y'all as well. We're looking for slightly choppy waves today, 1 to 3 feet high on the coast. That's going to be because we have gusts expected this afternoon, up to 25 knots at times. High tide is going to be later this morning, and low tide is going to be tomorrow morning, just after midnight, about 0.3 feet. And your water temperature, Matagorda Bay, today about 88 degrees. That's the water temperature. Air temperature, thinking a high of 94 in Port Lavaca, underneath that beaming Texas sun. Like I said, a little bit breezy in the afternoon time after 2 or 3 p.m. Same thing in Victoria, but a bit warmer today, 95. And in Cuero, y'all going to have a little bit more of that upper level cirrus clouds I was talking about. Mostly sunny all day though, and high of 95. And if that's not hot enough, like I said, y'all just wait, because later this week, high pressure moves nearby, and we're looking at highs back in the upper 90s and some of us near 100.
Ooh, I see a little chance of rain there.
Slight chance later this week.
Saturday.
That's with tropical activity. And speaking of tropical activity, you can pick up your hurricane tracking guide. It's real pretty, I should say. You can find out where to pick these up on our website. And you can also come to our station at 3808 North Navarro Street to pick you up a nice pretty magnet. Go talk to Miss Maria.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank y'all for being with us. Join Shona, Don, Maclovia, and Max tonight for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great Monday.